Hello, everybody. Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here, back again. I am here with something a little bit different this time. So, since you're in study hall this morning, I hope that you came prepared and you're ready to listen and you have a little pencil and paper and you're ready to learn something and take some notes because you may need to do so. And for your first assignment, when you go home today or when you have time to go home and do your little bit of homework, I want you to do a little research on what community advocacy is and how it works. Because guess what? It's for the community. It raises the voices of the community residents as a whole, and it benefits the community as a whole. And anybody who tries to stop it or manipulate that, they're not for the community having a full voice. Community advocacy is basically you are drawing attention to the things within your community that should be addressed, that are simple, that are very easy to be addressed, and they're not being addressed. Because let's face it, a lot of times, yes, our administrators are somewhat busy, but that's why there are different branches, and that's why there's different offices, and people all have their own jobs. And when you're bringing attention to something, you always get told, say in this instance, call the mayor's office, call their office, and you get, we're addressing it, it's on our list of things to do. And then it goes ignored for days, even weeks. And some people even try to say, oh, well, it's only been like that for a few days. But asking simple questions that obviously ruffle feathers to those who do not want the credit, or to those who do like the credit, that bothers them. Because a lot of people are they want that pat on the back. And community advocacy doesn't work that way. It works for the generalized community, the whole community, not selective community, not a small portion of the community. It benefits the full community. It gives them a more empowering, a more louder voice within their community to be able to start to change policies. And quite frankly, community advocacy, it just represents the interest of the community, advocating for those better decision-making and those better policies to be able to mobilize residents, to raise their voice, to bring about the changes that affect the actual residents and the positive direction. And there's always going to be naysayers who try to undermine the efforts of anybody who is an advocate that want to bring positive changes that can be done. These naysayers hate the fact that you're not in a position of leadership, but yet somehow you're able to change the community. And that's the wonderful tool, it's the wonderful power of community advocacy, is it gives people who are not in those positions, it gives the regular, everyday resident a powerful resident voice. And again, it's not about taking credit. It's not about that. It's about simply making sure that the community has better. So to the naysayers who are like, well, I just went and fixed it. Okay, that's great. So did I. So did a few other people. The thing is there should be better decision making. Is why aren't there better things, better tools, better resources being utilized to properly fix things, not to temporarily fix things? As in this situation, I went and fixed, and I just kind of pushed the fence back and used some of the old ties that were there and used a couple little zip ties just to hold the fence up out of the way of the walkway, just so nobody got hurt. And, you know, it continues to happen. That's okay. If it happened again, somebody fix it, that's great. That means people are paying attention. It's not about stealing glory from somebody. It's not about patting yourself on the back. You're looking at the larger picture for the community. And if you're not looking at it from those perspectives of for the community and the safety, then I ask you, you're looking at things in a completely wrong light. Now, this fence was taken down quite some time ago. It was quite a while ago. I spoke with a couple residents. They expressed to me that that's been down for a while. This fence was taken down, was left there on the sidewalk, open-ended pipes laying on the ground, regardless of who or what did it. What is drawing attention here is why is it left to be ignored? They know that these things have happened. They can't say they haven't, but they got ignored, and now things are being attentive to, right? They're being attentive to these things. Good. That's how community advocacy works. It's getting the leadership to do what they're supposed to do. And it's all there. And yes, the crew was out there yesterday fixing it. I drove by there. They were out there fixing it as fast as possible. That's a great thing. This is exactly what I talk about when community advocacy brings a louder, resonant voice to the residents and gives them that ability. You don't have to be in a mayor's position or a council seat to change your community, because obviously we see this happening already. I advocate and they're on it. So just think and imagine if more people did exactly what I'm doing. However, thankfully I work with a great organization who gives me the education, puts me through the training, who gives me the ability to really look deep into my community in a whole new light and a whole new spectrum. And no, I'm not a know-it-all. I have a lot to learn. However, it does give me a lot of the ability to find the things within the community, ask some simple questions, sometimes even ask hard questions. And even the simple questions sometimes, for some reason, end up being tough for many to answer because they just don't like the fact that it's ruffling feathers. Now, for our community, it's a great thing. And remember, community advocacy, look it up, research it. This is why it's so important for every resident. Not selective, not few. The full community deserves to have a louder, more resident voice. They need to be listened to. They have concerns. And unfortunately, a lot of administrations do not like that. They do not want that voice to happen. So, on your bus ride home today, I've educated you a little bit on things. But again, from your administration, try to demand some transparency and a little accountability. Try to, I would assume and hope that they have a little integrity and they're doing the right thing when no one's looking. But if I have to advocate and others, it's tough and it seems like things are just being left ignored. And that's not integrity. So this is your tax money at work. Be sure that you have a louder voice. You raise your voice. You make your concerns in the proper way. And guess what? Things are being fixed. Whether people like that or not, it's not about, again, like I said, community advocacy is not about patting myself on the shoulder and saying, yeah, I fixed it. It's yeah for the community. It's a small win for the community. And that's what these really are. I'm a community advocate and educator here in Lake Station. Be an eagle, don't be a crow. Challenge the status quo, because if you don't, you never know what you can achieve together or alone. And check out some of my other videos, which I'll be addressing some excuses in content that, well, is readily accepted, but it shouldn't be readily accepted by residents. And we'll go through as to why it shouldn't be. So stay with me, stay tuned.